And we are recording. Hello and welcome to today's webinar presentation, LinkedIn Optimization, Branding and SEO. Super excited to have teamed up with Lori Ruff and Mike O'Neill of Integrated Alliances. Hey guys, Lori, why don't you take a few seconds to introduce yourself, and then Mike, you're next.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Lori Ruff. I'm the CEO of Integrated Alliances, the first LinkedIn training and consulting firm back way from 2006. We've been in this a long time. I'm known as the LinkedIn Diva by my fans. I am passionate about this topic and excited to be partnering with Chris and bringing you not only optimization and branding, but the SEO portion of LinkedIn, because that is critical to being found.
Absolutely. Mike, I think you're muted. You may be muted.
How do you top that? How do you top that? I don't know. I'm the LinkedIn rock star. I've been doing this a long time. I kind of take the attitude of, Bono's there to entertain as well as to educate you, and that's what I do. So I teach companies how to use LinkedIn to get their sales teams cranking, getting quota going. Lori does the services in our organization, coaching and all, and I do a lot of the real in your face work with sales teams. A lot of technology companies around the country. So been doing it a long time. I'm from the technical sales world, so things kind of that were old and cool, or kind of cool to me, new again, like records and things like that. So that's my world, and I'm anxious to show people what I know here that relates to them.
Great, awesome. My name is Chris Rowell. I'm the founder of Boulder SEO Marketing. We are a search engine optimization training and consulting company right here in Boulder. And why don't we get started? Okay, let's quickly take a look at what we're going to discuss today. And if you're here to hear about LinkedIn, I think you're in the right place. We're going to talk about how to grow a business with LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn as a branding tool. We'll talk about LinkedIn groups, and Mike and Lori are the experts when it comes to running LinkedIn groups. Then we'll talk about LinkedIn as a search engine optimization catalyst. We'll show you how to measure success. If you have time, we'll discuss a few case studies, and then we'll dive into questions and answers. And if you have questions already, please submit them using the Q&A or chat interface of GoToWebinar. All right, why don't we do a quick poll? Do you have a LinkedIn company page? I'm going to open that poll right now. Why don't we leave it open for maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. So if you can let us know if you already have claimed your LinkedIn company page. Mike, what do you predict? How many of our attendees have claimed their LinkedIn company page?
40%.
Okay. All right. We'll give it another 5 seconds, and then I'm going to share the poll. So 3, 2, 1. People are still voting, and we're closing right now. Okay, Mike, you were wrong. 60% actually have LinkedIn company pages already. 30% don't.
Awesome,
yeah.
I wanted to sandbag it.
Yeah. All right, interesting. Then let's do another quick poll so we know a little bit more about our audience today. Is LinkedIn an important part of your overall digital marketing efforts? Same thing here. We'll leave it open for maybe 15, 20 seconds. Lori, maybe if you want to unmute yourself real quick. What do you think? How many people actually use LinkedIn as a digital marketing tool right now?
I think as digital marketing tool, I'm going to go with 78%.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people that don't have company pages because they don't need them. I'll use their personal profiles and use groups.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll give it another 5 seconds. So if you want to submit your answer real quick. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to close this poll. I'm going to share the results here. 55% said yes, 36% no. All right, Mike, surprised?
Yeah, the numbers are good. We have a really good audience here. We have a higher than average intelligence and adoption in this audience than the general public, I think, which is really great. I'm going to crank up the intensity of what I'm going to show you.
All right, cool. Mike, that said, I'm actually going to hand over the ball to you. I'm going to make you the presenter. Okay, Mike, it's you. If you want to share your screen, please. All right. That's
Great
a lovely
screen
picture.
share. All right then. You are sharing.
All right, Mike, it's you.
God.
No, Mike, are you muted by chance? Let me unmute.
Well, while he's unmuting himself, I'll go ahead and say this is a really exciting time for us. And Mike, you might want to take that off presenter mode or change your screen. But you know, the LinkedIn optimization, it's really important if you're going to spend time on LinkedIn that you show yourself to be the professional that you are. And, you know, a lot of people don't take the time to pay attention to their profiles, but building out your profile is where it starts. You go to networking events and you dress the part, sort of like Mike and his girlfriend did here, dressing the part to show up at that party. You know, they're not wearing suits, they're wearing concert tees at the concert. It doesn't matter who you are or what your profession is, you have got to dress the part so that people take you seriously when they see you on LinkedIn. You don't talk about yourself, nobody's going to know who you are. So doing that, that's part of the branding. It's also part of the optimization because you want to fit in and stand out. You fit in with the SEO part, with the part that puts the keywords in the right places in the fields and talks about who you are and what you do in a way that really allows people to figure out that to allow you to be found in the search engines. But like Chris will share later, it's great to be found in the search engines, but what do you look like once you show up in front of somebody? So Mike and I have been doing this a long time. We've been doing 500 plus. We've been saying 500 plus for a couple of years now, so it's way over 500 LinkedIn training since 2006. We're both in LinkedIn's top 50 most connected individuals, on the Forbes top 50 social media power influencers list, and been recognized by multiple AGB and Moody's favorite 50 and all kinds of third-party endorsements all over the world. So we're really excited about this. So I'm only telling you that because you probably want to know who the heck are these people and why did Chris and Mike and Lori come together to teach us this stuff and let us know what's going on. Now, Mike and I both have 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. I'm also a LinkedIn influencer in the publishing space and have 30,000 plus followers there as well. So, Mike, your desktop is showing. And
yeah, here's that fancy presenter mode for you. All right, let's just back to where we're supposed to go. Let's go.
I'm loving it. But your microphone is there. There you go. So on your PowerPoint, if you'll turn off the presenter mode, since we don't need to, we've done this so much, we don't really need that. So go up in your slideshow drop-down menu, and right in the middle, right there, a little to the right, one more. There you go, and turn off presenter view. Lovely. All right, so now that we've figured all that stuff out, what does this mean to you? You know, the interesting thing is we're doing this and having these little glitches right here in public, and in the online space, here's a bonus message for you. In the online space, you're going to make a mistake. You know, I've stepped in it several times. Mike and I push the limits, and the culture on LinkedIn and on social media is that it is online. You're in a networking environment. The best thing to do if somebody calls you out is not, you know, yell at them in public or take it, but take it as a constructive critique. Thank them for their input and learn from it and move on. I've clicked on buttons before that I wish I hadn't clicked on, but you know, double check what you write before you hit send.
So Lori, I'll get cranking, and when we talk about what we're going to do with SEO and stuff, it comes down to a few things, doesn't it? Just a few things. Keywords that go in, and that's Chris's avenue, isn't it, Chris?
Yes.
Chris is Mr. Data Fields. We're about profiles and company pages, so that's where we kind of come together in this together, don't we? We've got the writers here. We've got the folks that will tell you where to go, what to do, and ultimately it comes down to posts and content. posts, and content, doesn't it? Right, Lori? Comes down to what you're going to put out there, and then, Lori, it comes down to doing it in the right order. If you don't get your profile going first, then guess what? Network building doesn't go very well. Guess what? Searching doesn't go very well. And you can't engage and sell to people very well if you do things in the wrong order. So as we get cranking, it starts with your profile, and it starts with fitting in, like Lori talked about, having the right words in the right places. That's Chris's big wackety-woo there, right, Chris? You're all about that. Chris is about fitting in, keywords, getting found, getting searched. You know, we're very much about standing out, about having you be the one who gets chosen among other people, and we'll show you some ways how that happens. As you go around LinkedIn, though, as you go around, you leave trails behind. You leave a digital footprint, and that digital footprint has a picture of you and a few other things in it. So from a marketing standpoint, catching their eye is a tremendous little piece here. There's a way to do it, catching their eye with a picture and with some nice language high up in your profile. Lori, what's the most important thing about a headline?
The most important thing about a headline is not that it says your title at your company. Everybody says that. It defaults to that. What you want to do is put in there really quickly who you are or what your credentials are if you have them, and who you serve, what you do. So it could be keyword optimized. For example, Mike says corporate, B2B, LinkedIn sales trainer, keynote speaker, social media futurist. So keywords that people search on that he could be found on, but it also immediately tells people, have I found the guy that can help me do what I need to accomplish? Or is this somebody I should take a closer look at?
Yeah, we talked about data fields earlier, the words that go in and where they go, and here's a prime spot. So if you're an SEO person, you're doing website stuff, this is your H1 tag territory stuff. These words here rise to the top in the LinkedIn searches and outdoors on the Google and Bing searches as well. So there's headline. That's number one. Okay. The next part is speaking to someone when they come to your profile. Hey, guess what? You're here, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here to help these people solve those problems. Wow. And it's got a speaking tone. It's not about you.
It's
from you. Right, Lori?
It is. Now, I see a lot of really good profiles that are in third person speak. You're talking about yourself in the third person. You have to remember that you are in a networking environment. Introduce yourself to someone. I saw somebody yesterday, we were on a coaching call. He had great information in his summary, but it was about the company. I said, Harvey, introduce yourself and then talk about everything else that you have here, because this is really strong. But people want to know. You don't walk up and say, we do these. We say, hey, I'm Lori Ruff, and I'm the LinkedIn Diva, and this is who we are and what we do. So don't forget that very important, critical, introduce yourself piece.
If people wanted to do business with a company, they'd just publish the 800 number, and no one would have email addresses or do business. It would be a call center, and that's not the way that people want it to work. So it's a simple process, though, Lori. We teach this all the time. Get out your word processor, right? You know, we just showed a profile info guide. We just showed a little 4-page cheat sheet that we'll get you access to when we get done here. Just a quick bang, 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 how to do a profile with these quick little cheat sheet things in mind. Next, you want to work from the top down. You know, start at the top, above the fold. That's what matters most. Everybody sees the headline to the newspaper. Not everyone sees what goes on down below. We've mastered this little principle called a profile template that lets you centralize stuff. So marketing folks, picture this. You create some language that you can put on the profiles of your employees. You know, what would that language be? How would it be that it's language that they want to put out there? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be great. You know, thank you, Mr. Marketing, for writing this, instead of, I got to put that on my profile? You're telling me to do that? But the profile template is what makes it happen. And then you got to get all your employees showing on the company page. So you take your org chart and you go to LinkedIn and you start poking around and seeing who on your team is with the program, first of all. You know, showing on the page who's on LinkedIn or who's not at all. That's your inventory to get the whole team going. And the profile is just your building block to getting to your network. And your LinkedIn network's pretty huge, isn't it? You can connect to one person and have 5 million people in your network on LinkedIn. So think of the marketing potential for that, and you add wow, groups, I can join a group and add another 100,000 people to my network. That's unique about LinkedIn. And the quick way to get to your network building is to start with what's on your desk. I got a pile of business cards over here to my right. Gosh, when I get done here, Mike said I should go invite them. My, what am I going to say? I got your business card here. Thought we should connect, see if we can't find something better out there to do for the world, make the world a better place. I could search and find people to build my network from, but don't use these tools that LinkedIn puts in front of you that scour your list, right, Lori? What happens when that happens? What happens when you upload a list by accident or on purpose?
Well, if you send out invitations, you know, and they're generic, a lot of people now, they not only won't accept your invitation if you don't have a picture, they also won't accept your invitation if you don't take the time to customize it, because people want to be treated as a person, not as a piece of your technology.
There you go. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And LinkedIn groups are your gateway, aren't they, Lori? Tell me, you're the group expert. I'm not even going to try to go here. I can't match you fist for fist or ounce for ounce. You know, you're it. You're it for groups. Tell us about the community part, then I'll ask you the next question.
Thanks. Well, groups are like-minded individuals. For example, we have integrated alliances. We have a company group on LinkedIn. We also own the Link to Denver group, which is a regional group. There are a lot of regional groups. There are industry groups. There are people who have special niche interests. People who love the Grateful Dead have a group on LinkedIn. There are also alumni groups for colleges and associations. So look for the groups that are of interest to you, where you can find people where you can where you can make business happen. Remember, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and LinkedIn groups is the place to build those relationships.
Yeah, Lori talks about this. You know, I belong to a lot of different groups, and you know, the local groups are great. You got to belong to the group in your town. You got to belong to groups that have this kind of people that you're looking to engage. That's easy. You know, associations. Whoa! You know, and there's a business marketing association in just about every town. There's one. There's the BMA Colorado group does amazing things with their group there. You know, depending on what industry you're in and what you like, there's a group for just about everything. Take a look here. Let's talk about fantasy football for a second. You think there's interesting people in fantasy football? You know, maybe so. What if you could filter fantasy football, because I'm into it, let's say, and sales managers? Now we got sales managers into fantasy football, or in my case, you know, sales managers into Pink Floyd, Lori. See? And boy, they love me. They just can't wait for me to call them. You know, that call is like, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. So talk to me about what you do in groups first, Lori. Why do you get started?
Well, to get started in groups, first of all, you want to go there and show up and see what's going on in that group. Who's participating? Who are the big movers and shakers? What are people talking about? What's the feel of each group? Each group is a microcosm, a micro community within LinkedIn, and each one can have their own rules and regulations. So make sure that you take a look. On the top of the group, you'll see a big I next to the number of members, and you can see if they have group rules you should look at, observe, and get to know them. Then you want to like and comment on other posts. Let people know that you're there, you're showing up to the event, and you're listening. People will listen to you if you listen to them. And if you like a comment, exactly. If you like a comment, your name will show up on it. And if you comment on a discussion post, your name and picture will show up, so people get to know you and who you are and what you like. So then you post your own discussions to create interest and demonstrate your knowledge, and you can message other members from within the group, even if you're not connected to them directly on LinkedIn. That's powerful.
Well, so Chris, I want to bring Chris in for a moment here, because Chris showed us some amazing things in terms of content and SEO, and how the posts and things that he put out there were lit up in a way that just put him on the charts. And
yeah, absolutely.
I was real impressed by that. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. And actually, I'll show that in my part of the presentation. But I mean, LinkedIn is so powerful for SEO. You got to do it. And yeah, I'll show more details.
Yeah, most people don't think about posts and SEO. They think about profiles and pages, you know, blocks of text, but they don't think about that ongoing post material, that fresh meat, right?
Exactly.
So okay, well good. Well, I'm glad you're going to cover that in great. Hope you cover it in great detail. I'll leave you some time for that actually. The searching process on LinkedIn is a matter of filtering. It really is. You got millions and millions of records, and I'm going to filter through based on this and this and this to get some results. And you know, the all-in-one search function on LinkedIn is actually, you know, really useful. They've done a good job with this box to try to consolidate what could be a whole bunch of buttons and windows and stuff into a nice, simple, basic search. It works pretty well. But for most people, you want to get a little bit more granular. They're looking for something that you know is in a specific area with just this and just this. You get a lot of false positives when you're searching on LinkedIn, and when you do, that's when you start saying, I got to go to advanced search. You know, too many people I got to filter through here. Let me filter out the ones I don't need, so the ones that are there are more meaningful. And the box principle out here is very simple for people to understand. These are fields you put stuff in. LinkedIn's not hard. It's really not. It's just you got to be given the right perspective and have the right things to do, and you got to know how to do them. So we packaged, you'll see at the end here, rocklinkedin.com is a free training program for everybody here. There's 20 lessons in it, how to do many of the things that we talked about there. So I got a few key takeaways from our side. First of all, spiff up your profile. Get in action. We got a guide sheet here to show you how to do it. Spend an hour on your profile. Okay? If you don't have a company page, for those 40% that don't, it may not apply to you. Not everyone has a company page. But if you don't, or if it doesn't look good, this is time. This is a wake-up call. This is your wake-up call. Next, make sure your team shows up on that page. So you don't have employees that are your employees that are out in la la land on LinkedIn. You want them to show up on the company page. This is how you turn your employees into brand ambassadors. These employees that are now on the company page that are using LinkedIn, got their profile going, they're easy to convince to like and share content from corporate marketing that pushes the SEO up the hill, because you've got now all of these people on your team sharing that content and adding to the juice. And more important, just pay attention to what's going on. Right. You'll see people out there that will respond or ask questions like you, do things. Respond to them. Pay attention to what's going on. The social part isn't a do it and forget it. You got to respond. You got to, when the ball comes over the net, or in tennis, you got to hit it back.
It's called engagement for a reason, right, Mike?
It's called engagement. So these are some of the things we do. Lori and I do these coaching programs and training classes, and you know that's kind of how we put our content out there for people. Lori does a lot of writing and optimization. You know, we speak at a lot of events.
So let me, Mike, let me just jump in and tie the two together. What we've showed you so far on LinkedIn is really critical. You know, if you don't have a company page yet, don't just set it up and not put anything out there. You want to set it up when you're ready, because your employees will take that message off the company page and copy paste it to their profiles. You want to make sure that you put the right message out there. And one of the things that Chris is going to talk to you about today is avoiding mixed messages and sending the right messages. So by doing this and getting your plan in place, you can answer your employees' questions intelligently and help them with the becoming age-old, consistent question, what do I post? If you know the answer to that question, you can help your employees be much stronger brand ambassadors. And we are here to help you with what you need.
All right, well, that's for me, Chris. That's us here. Why don't you take it over and
all right, cool. Let me take back control here. There we go. Make presenter.
Let's see what you got, Chris.
Okay, I'm going to show my screen here. Okay, can you see my screen, Mike?
Gotcha.
All right,
awesome.
Let me expand to
word research.
All right, so let's do a quick poll. SEO is a very keyword-driven process. I would like to know if I can find my polling. There we go. Who actually has done keyword research in a more or less scientific way, meaning you went to use the tool to do keyword research. You know exactly how many people are searching for what keywords. All right, we're going to leave it open maybe for another 10, 15 seconds, and wow, I'm actually surprised by what I'm seeing here already. Mike, what do you think? How many people have done actually keyword research?
32%.
All right, I'm going to close this poll, and we are at 51%. I'm going to share this real quick. 51. I'm actually surprised. Usually it's way lower. All right. Interesting. All right, let me get into my presentation here. All right, so what SEO, as I said, is a very keyword-driven process. If you do SEO, you need to know your keywords that you're going to target, that you're going to put on your website, in your meta tags, on your LinkedIn profile, as Mike already mentioned before. We prefer Keyword Planner. It's a Google AdWords tool. So for this exercise here, I use the SEO training, because that's what we are. We're an SEO training company. I plug it into Keyword Planner. Google will tell me exactly how many, or like an average monthly search volume for that keyword, SEO training. They're about 1,900 on a monthly basis. It's a very competitive keyword if I were to do pay-per-click advertising for this keyword. And the suggested bid, the cost per click, is a steep $11. So I want to be found organically for this keyword. I don't want to pay $11 to Google to drive people to my website through PPC. All right. Then what I also recommend, you got to keep track of your keywords, and this is actually we use Google Docs to share information with our clients. I removed the keywords here. It's actually a real customer example. We keep track of the rankings for our clients, and this is for the ranking of their website. Definitely if you do this, or like if you do SEO, if you want to do SEO right, keep track of the ranking of your keywords. Easy way to do it using Google Docs. All right, let's take a look at the anatomy of a search engine results page, also known as a SERP. So up here you got the search bar. I typed in SEO training Boulder because we got a training coming up in Boulder and then one in Denver. I'll tell you more about this in just 1 second. So up here, Google will display usually three ads. This is how Google makes most of their money. If I were to click on here, by the way, that's not me, that's a competitor, Boulder SEO. This will cost them $11. Then same thing over here on the side, Google displays ads. If somebody clicks on here, Google makes money, and the company will get a hit to their website. So here's the beefy part when it comes to organic SEO. I do not advertise on, I don't use AdWords. I try to be found organically on Google, and we'll dive a little bit more into this, but basically, obviously I optimized my website for this keyword, so my website shows up as #1, and I'll show you where LinkedIn comes into play in just 1 second. All right, when I talk about LinkedIn, I'm actually also talking about SlideShare. LinkedIn, about 2 years ago, they bought SlideShare. If you're not already on SlideShare, I recommend right after this webinar, you get to slideshare.net and you claim your company URL or your company page. LinkedIn and SlideShare go hand in hand, and I'll show you why right now. All right, another target SEO keyword for my company.
So Chris, can I interrupt you for
just
a second?
Yep.
I want to interrupt you for just a second on that SlideShare. When we were talking about the webinar and the content and what we were doing, Mike and I both have SlideShare accounts and have had them for years with our names.
Yep.
But we had neglected to get our company name on SlideShare, which at Chris's prompting we did yesterday. So we have slideshare.com/integrated alliances. We were lucky.
Yes.
Don't let that one slip past you. Go get your name now.
Absolutely. And Laurie, I mean, this is great advice. I pay very close attention to any new social media network. And if I see any kind of sign that it's taking off, you gotta claim your company page. It's basically, you know, you could miss out on your company page, your company URL. If you don't get it, it's gone. So do the same thing with social media networks. Absolutely. All right, so SEO agency Boulder. Obviously, that's a keyword I want to be found for here in the region. Again, we got the paid results up here as well as on the sides. Again, I do not advertise PPC. So obviously I optimized my website, so organically I show up as the first organic search result. But then check this out. Number 2, before any of my competitors, is my LinkedIn company page. Why? Because I optimized it. And I'll show you exactly how to do it. Then number 3 here, that's actually a competitor. And check this out. Number 4, it's my SlideShare company page. So my market share for the top 4 search results, 75%. That's exactly what you want and need if you want to be successful in organic search. All right, let me give you an example how well it works if you optimize your LinkedIn company page. With this client, I think we started to work, I think right around here in October. This is referral traffic from LinkedIn to their website. So here they barely had any kind of traffic. We optimized their LinkedIn company page for search, and it, boom, it took off. So they're getting a ton of referral traffic just from LinkedIn. Now imagine if you were to do pay-per-click AdWords for all these referral hits, how much would that cost you if, let's say, the average cost per click would be in the range of $4, $5, $6, $7, $10? That's a lot of money. Okay, easy way to measure the success of your SlideShare activities. SlideShare provides some basic statistics here, analytics. So about a month ago, I hosted a webinar titled SEO Keyword Research, Find the Low-Hanging Fruit. And within less than a month, or within a month, actually, this presentation got 113 views, it got a download, so it's great for my branding. It actually, I get calls from people that find my presentations on SlideShare. Very, very, very important for organic SEO and to make money. All right, this is a screenshot of my LinkedIn company page. So here, and Mike already briefly talked about it, where he spoke about, think about it like a normal web page has a title, description, keywords, tags. This is it. This is where you need to place your target SEO keywords in the company description. For me, blah, 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 search engine optimization, SEO, search engine marketing, etc., digital marketing agency. So I very strategically place my target SEO keywords in my company page description. And what I noticed, Google pays a lot of attention to the specialities box down here. So if you do nothing else, and unfortunately I see a lot of companies that don't take advantage of this feature. Major, major bummer. Let me show you how to update this box with your keywords. Again, it's at the bottom of your LinkedIn company page. Simply click on Edit. You'll see the Edit button, I think, on the right-hand side top. This will take you to, at the very bottom, to the company specialities, and this is where you would plug in your target SEO keywords. For me, again, SEO training, SEO agency, content marketing, etc., etc. And I think you're sort of limited to, I think, 256 characters. Lori, do you know how many characters you have available? Or
Yes, I do. It's 256 characters total. There's also a limit within each one of the fields of about 35 or 36. So it's worth it to go ahead and click Add More. And what it does, as you see in the above, it'll put search engine optimization, SEO, comma space. So it inserts the comma space for you as you put it in each field. 256 characters total.
Great, awesome. Thanks a lot, Lori. Okay, also as Lori and Mike already briefly touched upon before, using your company's page status update feature has become so important for SEO. And I'll give you a real example in just 1 second here. but for this webinar, I advertised obviously on my LinkedIn company page using the status update. And this post got 44 impressions, actually 3 clicks, which is great. And I bet many of you probably heard about this webinar through LinkedIn groups or status update. Make sure to use your target SEO keywords as well in your status updates. All right, here is the field where you would post your status update on your company page, and you can also use tools such as Hootsuite if you don't want to go to each individual social media network to post status updates. And these tools are becoming more and more sophisticated, so I use a mix. Occasionally I just post directly on my LinkedIn company page, but most often I use Hootsuite. Okay, let me give you an example how well status updates work. Again, one of my target SEO keywords, SEO training Boulder. So check this out. This is a press release about the upcoming workshop. This is my website. This is a competitor. This is a landing page of one of my workshops. This is, I submitted information to the workshop to our local newspaper here, the Daily Camera. And then right here, I hope you can see it well, LinkedIn company page. And if you look at the description down here, bang. How do you know if you are a good candidate for SEO training? It includes the shortened link. So if you were to click here, this would actually take you straight to that LinkedIn company page status update. Very, very, very powerful. And I recommend get on it right away. Okay, Mike and Lori, I guess you guys were probably as surprised as I am when I got a notice from LinkedIn that they're retiring the products and services tab from the company pages. What are your thoughts?
Surprised is a good word for it. I was actually coaching a client in Italy, and the notice popped up across the screen while I was doing a screen share with them, and I was like, oh my gosh, and that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But it's kind of unfortunate because, well, the products and services pages, that additional tab is a listing. It allowed you to have a targeted message, yet that's going away. So you can target your message on the showcase pages now, which is fine. However, the products and services pages also allowed your clients to recommend your products and services as a company, not on individual profiles. LinkedIn does not have a new feature for that. There is no recommendations on showcase pages. So that's a huge loss in this community until they come back with something to replace it. In the meantime, their advice is copy-paste your recommendations from your product and services pages to your own document. And I said, really? My own document? How unfortunate. But what we've been doing is spending a lot of time copying and pasting the actual text from our clients' company pages, from the products and services pages, to a Word document, but we are also capturing a screenshot of those recommendations in place because the screenshot looks credible. You can't get a screenshot. You can't make up a screenshot with somebody's picture beside it. So we're taking screenshots and copying the text that we can use in other places. But until they give us another place to have recommendations for companies, that is a huge loss.
Absolutely.
And we don't know how it's going to affect SEO yet.
Yeah.
And you got until April 14th to capture that information. So if you have recommendations, go get them today.
Yeah.
That joins a list of other things that LinkedIn has done that have been kind of quirky, like closing the answers forum and a series of other things that people out here, user community, can't quite explain. Because, they tell you what to do. Go get these recommendations, do these things, and then we're not going to do that anymore.
Exactly. And by the way, this is what Lori spoke about, the recommendations. I mean, this is a major bummer. One of my products pages, SEO Social Media Beginners Workshop. I had nice recommendations. People actually took the time to recommend that class. I'm going to lose that. So personally, what I'm going to do, I'm going to port it over to SlideShare. So,
but notice, Chris, that right there you can take that screenshot, include the LinkedIn premium at the top and capture that all the way down to the service overview and show that 4 people recommended,
Yeah.
then capture each one of those recommendations individually, and you'll be far ahead of your competition.
Exactly, yeah. So this is awesome advice, and again, you have until April 14, so you need to get on it right away. Again, what Lori mentioned before, the showcases pages. So Google, LinkedIn sort of replaced these product service pages with what is called showcases pages. Very different. You only have 200 characters for a short description of what this showcase page is about. You can actually include the link to that particular product or service. And I think this is going to be majorly important, you can actually share specific updates per showcase page. So I believe for search, this is going to be very important that you're going to update specific status updates per showcase page. And Laura and Mike, I'm sure you guys are going to put up a training on this topic very soon.
Part of our curriculum.
We've been working with our clients on these very things, and you know, there's a couple of options. The showcase page, it's gonna you have more status updates that you have to do targeted to audiences. So what we're doing on content calendars is looking at what are the topics, and then these are the topics. Then who are our audiences? We have one showcase page per audience, and then we modify the topic for our different audiences. So if it's Mike's voice that's speaking, he might say, me and Lori are doing these things. If it's the company voice, Integrated Alliances founder Mike O'Neill and CEO Lori Ruff are doing these things. So that kind of an example, but listed to an audience. If you have a B2B audience, you might speak differently than if you're selling to mommy bloggers or to B2C or to pet owners. So think about who your audience is, and you can really target your message to them. So this is powerful, but it is a little bit more work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then also I want to mention the awesome thing is Google takes actually URLs into consideration when showing up in searches. So here, again, include your target SEO keywords in the URL. Very, very, very important. All right. Let's move on here. SlideShare. So basically anything I told you about LinkedIn also applies to SlideShare. This is my SlideShare account, Boulder SEO Marketing. You get the fields where you include your information about your company. Again, use your target SEO keywords. Put a link there for your website, your phone number, etc., etc. And what I noticed, what's very important for search, you got to use the tags field. It's basically the specialities field on LinkedIn. Google, for some reason, pays a lot of attention to these tags. Very easy way to optimize for search and to rank higher organically. Okay, a couple of case studies and success stories. One of our clients, we do bi-weekly blog posts. We do one personal LinkedIn status update per day, one LinkedIn as well as Google Plus company page status update per day, a couple of tweets, 2 LinkedIn group postings per day. So look at that, increase in visits from social networks, nothing here, bang, up to 121. Very powerful. Again, if you were to pay for these clicks, it will cost you a lot of money. For this client here, we do bi-monthly webinars, we do blog posts, again, LinkedIn status updates, company page status updates, group postings. We help them increase their referral traffic from LinkedIn over 100%, from 3,000 to 6,400. Very powerful. That said, I am very excited. Lori, you're going to be here, I believe, on Monday. We are teaching a full-day search engine optimization and digital marketing and LinkedIn training right here in Boulder. I think Boulder, we're nearly sold out. I think we have 1 or 2 seats available. If you want to sign up, please use code LIMC50 for $50 off the registration fee. If you get a message that we're full, feel free to email me or contact me directly. We may have some cancellations, so there's a good chance that you will be able to attend. The training in Denver, it's actually in Westminster, Colorado, is on the 29th, and I believe both you and Mike are going to be here for the 29th, right?
2 for 1.
Cool.
Yep.
Yes, we will.
Any words about the
Yeah.
training you want to share with the audience?
You know, this is really a unique training, Chris. It's like the webinar today, talking about the whole package. It's not just SEO, it's not just LinkedIn, it's not just digital marketing, but really how to put the whole thing together.
Yep.
And that is quite unique. It's hard to find training that's so comprehensive.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm very excited to doing these trainings with you guys. All right, that said, I think we just finished on time. I hope you'll be able to stay on for some questions and answers. That said, I'm going to open the floor for questions. Mike, I'm going to start with you. How do I get people to click on my profile and not just being found in searches?
Well, you know, it comes from what shows when you're in a list. You know, first of all, we talked about the picture and your headline and those pieces there and all. There's 2 parts: getting them to click on it in the first place. You know, your SEO concept and all this to get us found onto a list, to get clicked from the list because we got a nice picture and headline, and then to have a phone number and an email address after we greet them on our profile. It's really that simple. I mean, just you know, how would you like to be treated? You know, when you landed on something, you know, we'll treat people, feed them what they want. That's simple.
Awesome. Okay, we have a ton of questions. Let me see. How important is it to have an exact company name or abbreviation across all social platforms, personal profiles? Maybe Lori or Mike, if you want to talk about that as well.
That's good for Lori there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. Especially for those of you who have not created a LinkedIn company page yet, what Chris has shown you about that URL is really critical. When you first create your company page, put the name in the company name field that you want to appear in the URL. So it'll show up in linkedin.com/company/integrated-alliances, as you'll see in our first name there, and on Chris's Boulder-SEO-marketing. Once you create the company page, you'll be able to go in and change the name without the URL changing. So that's really critical, and that happens a lot on company pages. The more consistent you are, the easier it will be for people to find you. Notice that in all of our profiles, it's Integrated Alliances or Boulder SEO Marketing. On my personal profiles, it's Lori Ruff or LinkedIn Diva. On Mike's, it's Mike O'Neill or Mike O'Neill Rocks. And so there's a lot of consistency so that people can find us. We show up more often in searches, and we show up more often where people know that I've got the right person that I'm looking for.
And Chris brought up a good point about grabbing your ID as soon as either a new platform comes out or as soon as it's available. On any platform, try to grab that ID that's got your name. And, you know, there's all kinds of variations. If you can't get it, like here, if Integrated Alliances wasn't available, darn it, I'm going to take Integrated Dash Alliances, at least something that's got that whole same piece going for it. And like Mike O'Neill wasn't available for me on Twitter. It was someone who wasn't using it at all. He had 0 tweets, 0, 0, 0, all the way across. Wanted to get it, and I just couldn't get a hold of him. So I became Mike O'Neill Rocks. It's still Mike O'Neill, but it's Mike O'Neill Rocks. Mike O'Neill Denver and others. When you combine words together, that's the new trend. Is if it's not going to be company name, you're going to do it based on a function. Like, you know, combining words together. That's what you did. You know, Boulder, SEO. You know, combinations of words work well.
Exactly.
Helps when your company is a combination of words. We have 2 nice words in ours. It helped a little bit.
Great. All right. Another question for the LinkedIn rock stars. Do you have any advice about how to handle LinkedIn invitations from random people? I see the value in growing my network, but question if it's worth connecting with people in seemingly unrelated industries that I've never spoken to before. Maybe if you guys want to go ahead, and then I'll add my 2 cents as well.
Lori, can I take that? I'd like to. For the most part, look at people as a door. Okay, the band The Doors. I didn't get what they meant, you know, until 30 years later. The door, yeah. So you walk in and open into something new, And a person is a door. The person isn't their network. The person is the gateway to the people in their network. And you do have to make a little bit of call here and there. You know, I don't tend to connect to a lot of hairdressers because I figure that their community probably isn't my community. But that's the extreme case. For the most part, there's all kinds of people who have networks with all kinds of people. And LinkedIn being a business-to-business environment, it's not like Facebook where you might get just random junky monkey bunches of people, perhaps. You get pretty good people on LinkedIn, and they behave pretty well. So, you know, there's a reason you got to know why not to. And maybe I used an example of why not to. For the most part, the default is yes, but look at their profile and see if there isn't some way that you could play with it. They might belong to a group you'd like to know more about, or their connections below might look interesting to you, because you can go look at their connections at the bottom of their profile. Take a gander, see if they might be for you.
Exactly. And then let me give you a quick example. So I was in Sarasota last week, and I got a connection request from somebody who actually was in Sarasota. He didn't know I was there. You know, look, business person, I accepted. Then he asked me if I could connect one of his friends with one of my connections. So I did that, and I said, hey, you know, Larry, you know, here we go, and here's actually the email address. I'm actually in Sarasota this week. What's up with the weather? It was raining. So we started to communicate. And then we actually ended up meeting. And now we're ending up doing a partnership, and he already referred me to 2 potential clients. So, you know, my advice, take a look at who's trying to connect with you. Don't connect with everybody, but if you got a good feeling about it, I would say go for it, and, you know, thank them for connecting with you.
You know, Chris, the lottery here in Minnesota has this saying called, you can't win if you don't play.
Yep.
It applies here.
It's 100%, yeah. Let me see. Any thoughts about accepting invitations from direct competitors in your own market? Let me I'll take a stab at that real quick. Yes. You know what? I love to connect with competitors because they share awesome updates to their status updates. And, you know, in some way we're all partners in a way. Sometimes if I'm too busy, you know, I can send business to somebody I trust who, you know, I feel will do a good job for that potential client. That's my personal take. Lori, Mike?
Well, if you're
Yes,
an excellence in your industry
and
you're not connected to the other people, the other people of excellence in your industry, well, why not? I mean, there's a network of people that are excellent in what they do. You know, at the CEO level, CEOs want to connect to other CEOs. People in similar job positions want to have someone to relate to at their level. It's extreme in our level in social media world. We all tend to be a little more social than the average bear. But I'll let Lori go ahead and respond on there.
Well, thank you, Mike. I think, you know, this is we've had books come out like The Relationship Economy and Collaboration Economy is coming out. The world has changed, you know, and if you continue to think pre-2010, you're not going to be as profitable and as successful as if you start thinking post-2012. And, you know, a lot of times somebody who looks like a competitor may turn out to be a great collaborator. Maybe you both are doing the same thing, but you have different niches. And so by working together, you move further faster and find a place of mutuality. So consider that. And, you know, if you need to, read Bob Burg's book, The Go-Giver. Follow Kari Anderson on Forbes. She's brilliant with finding connectivity and mutuality. And think about how could I move my business forward if I move this relationship forward.
Awesome. And so we're, I think we'll keep on going with questions. We still have a ton of people online, so hopefully stay with us for a few more minutes as we discuss more.
So Chris, let me add one more piece onto what Lori just said there. Some of it has to do with reputation. I mean, do you want the reputation for collaboration and all? That's the person who connects to competitors, who people who he competes with say good things about him because he's out there, he's friendly, he's part of making the world better instead of trying to make sure that his little piece of the world is better.
Awesome. Next question from Marine. How can I tell if invitations I get are coming to my personal page or my business page? Basically, business page, people can follow your business page. You're not going to approve them, but you will get invitations to your personal account. And there you make the decision to accept or not. Right, guys?
That's correct. You only connect as a person, not as a company. You follow companies, but you connect as people.
All right. Question from Doc. Do you offer a complimentary audit of LinkedIn profiles? If not, what would something like this cost? I guess Mike, Lori, that's you guys.
That's Lori.
I was waiting for my cue. Yeah, you know, we do have some free training. There's the I think once you look at the LinkedIn profile guide that you'll be receiving from the webinar today, that'll give you a good hint, at least initially, as how you're doing. And I'll tell you what, Chris and Mike, if you look at the LinkedIn profile guide sheet, and then you visit rocklinkedin.com and go through those first profile lessons, I will offer anybody on the webinar today a free assessment of your LinkedIn profile with some advice on how to improve it. That'll be about a 20-minute phone call, which is incredibly valuable, with having somebody else just say, this looks great, you need to do this, this, and this, and you'll be on the right track. We've had a lot of success helping people with that, but I'm going to ask you to take the first step, use the profile guide sheet, register at rocklinkedin.com. If you want to rock LinkedIn with the LinkedIn Rockstars, do that. Go through those first few lessons with the how to build out your profile, and then send me a note, let me know, and I will honor that 20-minute consult for you and give you a once-over with your profile and give you some advice on how to improve it specifically for your situation. How's that, guys?
Lori, you're going to be busy.
I bet you'd be willing to look at their company page too in that same conversation, wouldn't you?
Yeah. We had about 200 people signed up, so you'll be busy, Lori. And by the way, if you're in the Boulder, Denver area, that's what we're going to cover at the full-day workshop. So definitely take advantage of that if you can. Let me see, Nina. On LinkedIn, we all want to use first person in our profiles. I would say yes. And let me. You have another question, Nina. My company is creating a new specialty medical panel called the Medical Panel for all medical professionals. How to best highlight? Create a business page for the medical panel, a group, or question mark. We have a consumer panel too. Same question. Mike and Lori, that's in your field again.
You know, I'm going to say if you've got a company page for LinkedIn, this is a brilliant place to use showcase pages because you will attract people who are interested in that very particular thing. And showcase pages could let people know when you're doing things, who's joining the panels, what's going on, notes, topics of interest, that kind of a thing. And that is going to be searchable on Google. I'm already seeing, over the last couple of weeks, I've seen a huge spike in the number of showcase pages that show up internally on the LinkedIn search when I'm searching for keywords. And I know that when that happens, the same thing happens on Google and other external search engines.
Yeah, I'll add in there that on each of these showcase pages, you have a header graphic, a header image up there that would go well with that showcase page, go well with that event, go well with that group, with that panel, with whatever. And these images at the top set the tone when people land there and say, hey, look at the stuff below through this lens. So don't downplay that either. That's not an SEO part. That's the conversion part that I'm talking about.
On the group part, if your company has a company group and you've got multiple panels, I would recommend having subgroups for those panels. People can only join 50 groups, but they can also join subgroups. So have a group, for example, we have the group Integrated Alliances on LinkedIn, and in that subgroup, we have a subgroup for our trainers and the consultants that we train. We also have a subgroup for people who are on our Integrated Alliances U on-demand LinkedIn training program. So that is a great way to bring your community to one place and then help them segment to the areas that they're interested in, and allows you, again, that individual voice to talk about the things that interest them most.
Awesome. And then I had a few people ask again to display the page about the workshop. So there we go. I'm leaving it up for a little bit. Is Showcase only available in a premium account, Maureen? No. No. If you have a LinkedIn company page, you can create a Showcase page, right, Lori?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and you know, I get it a lot, Chris. The company page is available for every member on LinkedIn. You do not have to have a premium account to create a company page or group. That is available to every member, and the only consideration is that when you create a company page, you should make multiple people a admin for that company page in case something happens where you can't get access to your account. But the only requirement to make somebody an admin is that you are connected. So I have a lot of clients, even though I'm not a member of their company, make me an admin on their company page so that I can help them administer it. But it's free for everybody.
Awesome. Then let me see, question here for myself. How many keywords can we realistically optimize our website or LinkedIn for? What we do for our clients, we usually go for 20 to 30 keywords. Otherwise, it gets too diluted and overwhelming. You can basically optimize. Once we generally optimized after the first 2 months, we usually do campaigns for like 3 to 5 keywords for 1 or 2 months. So I would say go with 20, 30 keywords. Let me see, Mike, is it important to use LinkedIn and Showcase pages for specialty affiliate marketing for products and services?
Well, there's some gray areas in affiliate marketing just a little bit. You peel the onion back a little bit. LinkedIn likes some of those organizations more than others. Right, Lori? I mean, this is not a good place to build your send-out card business.
Right. You may not use LinkedIn to build a network marketing or an MLM business. If LinkedIn finds you doing it, they will shut down your account and you will lose everything you've built.
So that's one take on it. Assuming that maybe that's not the case, the case is more of I have friends and business partners who are doing webinars, and I put my affiliate link on it, and lo and behold, you know, sometimes a check comes from it or something like that. That world, that whole ClickBank world of legitimacy.
Right. That's acceptable.
That's acceptable, and I would warn people that if you are using affiliate links and stuff like that, to try to mask it behind either a bit.ly or some other sort of a link, because people aren't inspired to click on links that say AF equals 9744 at the end of the link. I'll just leave it at that.
Absolutely.
People are more inspired to click on a link that says, click this link about this .com instead of those AF equal kind of links.
All right. So why don't we take one more question? We're actually 15 minutes over time. Let me see. Jacqueline, what is the best way to market an event to targeted individuals on LinkedIn when you run out of email credits? Well, I don't think we're going to give away all our secrets here, but there's a way that both integrated alliances we do here at Boulder SEO Marketing, but there's a way to do it. We'll probably present that solution in maybe an upcoming web seminar that we're going to do. Mike, Lori,
I would say in a nutshell for that caller that look at Eventbrite, and the platforms themselves that you use for your events matter a lot to the success of your event. We like Eventbrite. We like Eventbrite. Evite is a great one, but the platform matters a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I mean, there are many different ways to contact people on LinkedIn, but it's a whole other subject and probably another training session. Okay, that said, let me get back to the contact page here. Mike, Lori, any last thoughts? I had a blast doing this with you guys, and I'm really excited for hosting the workshops with you guys next week and then at the end of the month. We do webinars on a regular basis, so feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and other social networks. And Mike, Lori, last thoughts.
We have had a blast with you, Chris. We thank our audience. You guys rock. Thank you for coming and for being here, asking some great questions. Really, these have been very, very insightful questions for us and for each other.
Great. That said, we'll hopefully see you all again soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. It was awesome.
Thanks, Mike and Lori. Bye.